Hey everybody, my name's Jay, and today we're covering the first 2 episodes of Mob Psycho 100. This will be a spoiler-free podcast about the entirety of the show, so feel free to follow along as my co-host Luke watches this series for the very first time. So, when you're moving to a new town and a new place, and starting a new job, what's the best thing to do but to record a podcast?
Sure.
My name's Jay, and who are you?
I'm Luke.
Oh man, that's great.
For some reason, I thought you were like leading us into Mob Psycho for some reason. Like,
Oh
I
yes.
thought you were like moving to a new town and a new place, and I was like, I didn't know Mob moved. I've only
No,
seen
you
2
didn't
episodes.
move. No, I'm talking about me, man.
Okay. Well,
I would like to know, did you know about this show before I told you about it?
yeah, I mean, it was really popular, and you know how there's anime that just kind of like break out a little bit,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
where it's like even normies will talk about it.
Well, like, let me just say, every time you look up the phrase Mob Psycho 100 on Twitter, it is mostly people listing either their top 10s or recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are just like constantly debating what's the best episode or something.
No, it's just people putting saying what their top 10
Top 10
anime are.
anime. Okay.
Yeah. So top 10 anime and or it's people asking for recommendations, and everybody's always constantly recommending Mob Psycho.
Right. So it's definitely one of those like phenomenon anime where for people like myself who only want to watch the choicest of cuts, when it comes to anime, that'll end up on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you there. So I've been hearing about it for 6 solid years.
Oh wow.
Because it came out in 2016. And
I probably have to.
Yeah, and I tried to watch it a couple of times. And either I was having internet issues or I just I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood or something. So this year, I think back in February, I tried again and I just skipped episode 1. I just went on to episode 2. And I think I can't remember if I watched the entire show through and then went back to episode 1 or if I just finished season 1. But either way, I just went on through. I was just like, I get the gist. I understand.
Interesting. I liked episode 1 more than I liked episode 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do you want to summarize episode 1 or do you want to just talk about whatever?
I mean, whatever format wise works. Episode 1 was just setting up the dynamic between what's his name? Ray something?
Reagan Arataka.
Reagan, right?
Yeah.
Reagan?
Yeah, Reagan. Yep.
Yeah, so it was basically setting up Reagan and his whole business.
Yes, yeah.
His whole business model, and then Mob comes in kind of late into the episode, right?
Yeah, he comes in like in the middle.
I feel like it was even towards like the last third.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, they really kind of fake you out on who the main character is.
Yeah, he just kind of shows up to beat the monster or the spirit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that? You know what? I'm confused because they end up going to the biker one.
Yeah,
as well, right? So there was 2 spirit activities.
Well, because that
first
second
episode.
story is based off an omake, which is omake. So I used to think omake meant the little bonus funny comics at the end of Full Metal Alchemist, but apparently it means any bonus content. And so the omake for Mob Psycho are, I'd say, 90% canon. And that omake that the second story is based off on is kind of feels like a proto episode 1. Like it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
all the text boxes that say this is Mob and this is Reagan and all that jazz. So it's kind of you kind of get 2 episode 1s in one.
Well, and it really exemplified, I guess, what I'm guessing a lot of these stories might be at their base form, which is
Mhm,
that,
mhm,
there's a spirit has some sort of issue,
mhm.
like Mob uh, does cool psychic stuff and then
Yeah, yeah.
resolves that issue to some degree.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so oh yeah, do you know who the author of this manga is?
is it the One Punch guy?
It is the One Punch guy, yes.
Yeah, because he's like reading One Punch Man
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the show,
He is, yeah.
and yeah, it looks like One Punch Man
It does. It very
from the
much
little
does.
I've seen of One Punch Man
Oh,
anyway.
yeah. Yeah, so it's the One Punch guy, and as you know, he likes his OP protagonists.
Right. I like Mob because of how like naive he is.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a really interesting dynamic. I never watched One Punch Man, but I got the whole like restraint vibe
Mhm.
from that show. Like he's choosing to not use his powers because like for the challenge of it or whatever,
Well, it's
right?
he wasn't able to find it. He can beat anything in one punch,
Hmm.
so he, like, can't restrain himself, and he can't find a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what yeah, yeah, I only watched the first season of that, and I never finished it, and I
Okay.
wanted to read the manga at some point, but,
Sure. Sure. But either way,
yeah.
it sounds like that one is more self-imposed, where this one is like in Mob Psycho, it's more of like a naivete that
Mm.
and Reagan wanting to uh, use Mob
Yeah, yeah,
for
yep.
his desires. Let me ask: Is I'm guessing the 100 is significant at some point.
Yeah, well, so you saw that first little scene right at the beginning, right? With, like,
Yeah, but that
that
didn't
count
tell me
up.
anything.
That didn't tell you anything.
That
Well, and
didn't
then,
tell
of
me
course,
anything.
what were we at, like, 32% or something? Was that the last number that came
Like
up?
I think it was like 40
Was it
at the
40? I
very
think I
end
wrote it down.
of
Because I remember
episode
it's, like,
2.
27% at episode 1,
Mhm.
no, I don't remember I don't remember what it said at the end of episode 2, but, yeah, it's around 30 or 40, I think you're correct.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so when do you think it's gonna, if at all, hit 100?
I mean, I would assume that they set it up for. Actually, I was having this conversation the other night with one of my roommates. They
Mm,
were talking about anime
mhm.
and talking about how animes do arcs and stuff,
Mm, yeah.
and how I thought that was interesting because a lot of like TV shows will set something like that up in the first episode in order to have it go off in the last episode of the season.
Mhm.
But because of the nature of like the weekly manga, like I'm not sure if weekly or monthly manga. Um,
Right.
I'm not sure if they would hold that off for that long, or if we're gonna get it by the end of whatever arc. I don't know. I don't know how
Okay.
Mob Psycho functions, but
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to tell with these first 2 episodes, yeah.
it's like when we were watching My Hero Academia, you know, uh, things would there'd be several arcs per season, so
Mhm.
you would think that the big bad would get beaten at the end of the season, but usually it's like towards the middle of the season, so they can do 2 arcs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, My Hero's arcs are relatively short,
Mhm.
and I'll tell you, these arcs here are even shorter.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
because well, you saw how succinct this is. We're only 12 episodes for the first season, 13 for the second,
Yeah,
and I'm imagining season 3 is probably going to be about the same.
that's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I chose this one to do a podcast on. I was like, yeah, this will if if we don't like making a podcast, we'll only do it for however long, you know?
Sure. I another funny story. I was talking to my roommate William about anime,
Mhm.
and he said, "You know, I thought I heard somewhere that One Piece is ending." And I was just like, "That doesn't sound right." My sister was saying that like it would be like another 5 years, and so
Yeah,
I
I mean
looked it
the
up. I looked it up, and they are starting the final like arc or saga, whatever you want to call it,
yeah, they are.
and that is going to last about 5 years.
Well, because Luke, this last arc started in 2018
Right, right,
and has is still technically going on even in this month hiatus. I wouldn't call the arc that we're currently in over.
right.
So the arcs are just getting longer and longer.
Sure.
But it is indeed on its way out. It's just gonna be a long way out.
That's just like, how does that work with popularity? Um, I
And
guess I guess people are just really invested at this point, but it's like,
yeah,
mm,
huge dedicated very dedicated fan base
but
here.
like I was saying, the reason there's arcs in anime is because of the weekly or monthly nature of manga releases. You want to have relatively contained storylines so that like there's something happening each week, but enough but there has to be kind of an end in sight of the things that are currently happening. So it's
Right.
not like if you're tuning in every week to get to find the One Piece, and that gets put off for like 8 years. You know,
Well, I mean, there's other goals, man, like,
I know. That's
yeah, there's the big bad to beat every arc or whatever,
sure,
and,
sure,
it's usually just how is that happening? Well, now when we have, like, 9 or 10 characters to juggle at a time now.
sure.
People who are into One Piece right now are
Yeah,
lifers
they're
now,
lifers for
and or
sure,
they caught up during the pandemic because they had nothing to do.
sure. But that's the thing that kind of blows my mind about that because it's like even long running like animes like Naruto,
Mhm.
the ones that would just like never die,
Yeah.
uh, they still probably had pretty concise arcs, I would think. I mean, maybe
I
not
think so. I
not as
never really looked up that.
maybe not as concise as something like a Mob Psycho or My Hero Academia,
Mhm.
but certainly Naruto would not have an arc that goes on for years, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't know, I'd have to look at that actually. I don't know if like, how Shippuden went or whatever.
Shippuden didn't even last years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me just I don't think
Or
that
like
yeah.
Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, anything.
Mhm.
You know, it's like the show went on for a long time, but like each saga was a good like maybe like 20 episodes or something.
Yeah, no, I never really looked up how those arcs were, and it's been so it's been so long since I watched any of those.
And that was even with them spending entire episodes just
Screaming.
powering up, you
Yeah.
know?
Man, I can't wait till you see next episode where Mob screams for a whole episode.
Oh, jeez. Fantastic. The show is interesting so far.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
there's definitely like a certain brand of humor to it that I
Mhm.
find funny sometimes. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
It's kinda hit
Yeah,
or miss for me right now.
understandably so. Recently I find myself laughing more at manga than anime,
Oh,
and
yeah?
I think it's because I can just linger on whatever joke I want to.
Mm,
Which, by
gotcha.
the way, I am done with the Mob Psycho 100 manga. I know how it all ends.
Oh, does is the manga's done?
Manga's done. Season 3 should be the final season.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Well, good. I'm excited to get in, get out,
yeah,
have a
yeah.
full story.
Exactly. Well, and that's why I chose this because I knew you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I knew you'd like that. Yeah. So it's been over since like what 2017, I believe, the manga,
Okay.
and yeah. So I don't know why Bones has taken a very long time to make this show. And I don't know if it's because it has like different funding than that of like say My Hero Academia or whatever.
Yeah.
But for
It d
whatever reason, they release these seasons really far apart.
it does look really good, though.
It does. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
This was like a lot of love and care has gone into this.
Yeah.
Especially with like Reagan. He doesn't do the hand thing in the manga. That thing that he does where he like they you know, where he
No.
flashes his hands around.
I guess I didn't pick up on that as a key character trait.
Oh, okay. Well, and then a lot of the crazier expressions aren't from the manga either.
Mhm.
And
I
yeah,
was
they
mostly just thinking about, like, the spirits.
yeah, the spirits too. And they got like a what's her name? Oh yeah, her name's Mio Sato. She does all that paint on glass stuff.
Paint on
Yeah, when like the ghost was all like before the first ghost shows up in like regular anime form. First
Mhm.
he's all like that blue sort of oil painting looking stuff smearing around.
Okay.
That's called paint on glass, and that's how they did the ending theme.
The the one that looks like, it looks like scribbles, like
Like, what did you see? Like, did you see the ending theme? That's all like mostly monochrome.
yeah,
Yeah, all that's paint on glass.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's like a stop motion technique.
oh, okay, gotcha. It looked like like everything was made of scribbles.
Yeah, no, that's like oil paint.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So that's like slow drying paint
Cool.
that they have to move around. It's really neat.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. Oh yeah, what'd you think of episode 2? I think we've mostly talked about episode 1.
Right. Yeah, episode 2 was okay. Um,
Yeah,
I didn't like it as much. They,
understandably.
I didn't really care about the telepathy club storyline,
Oh, okay.
which was most of the show.
Yeah, that was most of the episode, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
do I care about these people?
Well,
I
Mob
would
doesn't either.
right,
He's
right.
like, "Screw you guys, I'm gonna go get buff."
Yeah, that was funny, and then Mob, sort of having that encounter with the school, um, the ghost from the school,
Yeah, that goes from the school, yeah.
and he asks, or ask him if he's like living his life to the fullest or something.
Yeah, and he's a I only had fun after I died, and Mob's just like, that really makes you think, huh?
Yeah, so he's having like a 12-year-old existential crisis or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and does what I guess a lot of 12 to 13-year-olds do, which is decide that life's going to be about girls now,
Yeah, yeah.
which is in parts like predictable, and then also I don't know. I like storylines like that sometimes, but then also am questionable on them. I don't know.
Yeah,
Conflicting.
yeah, no, I get you on that. I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like kind of dime a dozen. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
the story is going to be about the girl. That was kind of a refreshing thing with My Hero Academia, I guess. You know,
Mhm.
Deku's not really motivated by a woman at any point.
Yeah, not at all, no. He's pretty he's on that grind set, man.
On that grind set. Deku's a
Mm.
Sigma male.
He is.
Yeah, I'm curious about like all the psychic powers and stuff, and obviously the hook is in the explosion thing. They've
Yeah,
predicted
the
that this
explosion.
explosion is, you know, the percentage till mob explodes or whatever.
Yep, yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, we definitely aren't in the meat of it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that some of these shows will start out feeling kind of episodic,
Mhm.
um, but sometimes then they start going towards these bigger
Yeah, that's kinda
plot
how,
lines.
like, if you open up the first volume of Full Metal Alchemist, you'll think that.
Yeah, yeah. The first part of Fullmetal Alchemist feels like we're just gonna see Ed and Al go to random cities and
Yeah, yeah,
do things.
and then they get to volume 2, and then it's like, "Nah, not really."
Yeah, not really. It's like or monstrosity die and go like, oh man, I guess uh I guess we gotta go on a proper journey or something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the anime was even worse about that. At least the original one, 2003, because like there was a couple of filler episodes at the start of the season.
I mean, it
For,
takes,
for
like,
the show.
13 episodes to get out of that flashback.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like 13, I maybe more than that, I can't remember.
It's possible. I don't know.
It takes them a while to get to yeah, because it starts with Leora and all that, and then it goes into flashback for, like, 13 episodes, then they're out.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of, like, kinda disconnected, misadventures, which, can be fun and all that, more like an adventure serial than the series actually is, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's the funny part is that it never with the animes it never seems to stay that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or maybe never is a strong word. I haven't seen a lot of anime, so I'm sure there's animes that are
Y yeah, I
more
don't think
episodic
that's
in nature.
quantifiably seen as much as, like, the average person who would call themselves an anime fan.
Right, right.
Um, I just don't do as much variety well, like I said, when I watched Mob Psycho, I
Hmm.
watched it, like, 3 times in a row, and it's just 'cause just 'cause it's so short. It's, you know, it's familiar, it's so short,
Yeah.
I just kinda roaded through it, like, 3 times in a row.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a period in my life where I exclusively watched The Office and How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah, yeah. It's kinda
and
like
I
that for me.
and I just did that exclusively. Just
Yeah, yeah.
ran through both those series, and when I would get to the end, I'd just restart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kinda what I was doing, like,
Yeah,
a month or 2 ago.
yeah. I don't do
Yeah.
that now.
Right. Good. Good.
I just watch endlessly um, old episodes of Scott the Woz.
Yeah, not bad, not bad to look at. Well, that's why we're doing this,
Yeah,
so you can watch a new thing,
new media. Yeah,
new
new media.
media, and talking about it too, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fun.
yeah. So, do you know what the word mob even means?
Like a large group of people
Yeah, kinda.
who
Well, like
make.
in Japanese specifically, is to
Oh,
refer to somebody like kind of looking unremarkable.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so and when we got a whole like Deku situation that the
Mhm.
name Shigeo can be read as mob.
Mm, okay.
And then oh yeah, I guess the other thing I wanted to clarify, it's so the name Kageyama Shigeo becomes Shigeo Kageyama in English. They kept Reagan's name the same.
Mhm.
So Reagan's his family name, and Arataka is his given name.
Okay.
I don't know why they didn't change it like everybody else's,
Mhm.
but yeah, I've seen people like confused about that, as was I.
Is that just because they predominantly refer to him as Reagan throughout?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because like, there's plenty of shows where characters refer to each other by a last name a lot.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
I don't know. My guess would be is that Reagan Arataka sounds better than Arataka Reagan,
sure.
and that's my only explanation.
Yeah. One of my
Yeah.
favorite gags thus far has been Reagan's special moves.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really like that announcer voice. It's very
Mhm.
good. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and so
Definitely has some
he's the
charm.
normie of the show, but he's the one who gets to have special moves while Mob just
Does
puts out
them.
his
So,
hand.
yeah. Yeah,
It's good.
it's a clever thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like it.
Oh yeah.
I like his use of table salt.
That's a classic ghost demon hunting trope.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah. Salt, yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently it has to be purified.
Yeah, it has to be purified.
Pure.
He didn't Google that hard enough.
Yeah.
Didn't get to the second page.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if we get more like backstory on why Reagan uh, decided to become a fraud.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting career choice for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. I mean, it could be as simple of an explanation as like this is just uh, why anyone gets into any fraud.
Mhm.
People are believing it, so
Yeah,
why
yeah,
not?
yeah.
And I
Right.
guess I guess it helps in this universe that apparently spirits are real. So
Yeah, so he found his niche.
yeah, so he found something that people don't quite believe as much as maybe they should,
Mhm.
but believe enough to let him wrangle some cash out of them for like a bat massage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's a win-win for Reagan, whether it's a real ghost or not.
right, exactly.
Yeah, because it's not a real ghost, you can just say, but what if it is, though?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I may run out of things. Oh, what do you think of, it's interesting that, the girl that Mob likes, Tsubomi, was
hmm
just like, "Yes, I get powers, they're just kinda boring, huh?"
Oh yeah, yeah. That little flashback where she was impressed for like 5 minutes, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. But
and
by the
then she wasn't
floating
impressed
dog.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they exist in an alternate uh universe where TikTok had been released uh in Japan at that time.
Wow. So the youth's
Oh,
attention spans are just absolutely obliterated in the Mob
right.
universe.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's I guess um to be a little more serious about it, that's
Yeah.
more a similar trope that appeared in like Jurassic World,
Mm.
where
Oh, yeah, yeah.
they sort of introduced the idea that now that dinosaurs had been a thing for a little bit,
Mhm.
obviously years instead of like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I don't know how common psychic stuff is in their world. It doesn't seem terribly common.
Mhm.
So it seems like, yeah, he was showing her this thing, and then like she got bored of it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but that's not. Um, I guess what I'm saying is that these both these media properties seem to be drawing from the well of the idea that human beings do in fact get bored
Yes,
when
yeah.
they're exposed to something and they need it to get bigger and better, and
Mhm.
you know, we're chasing the dopamine essentially.
Mm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's why you have to genetically modify dinosaurs and stuff.
That's why. That's what we learned from Jurassic World. We need to do more genetic modification on dinosaurs, yeah.
No, I mean it was a very Michael Crichton-y
Uh-huh.
sort of critique of our ability to stay amused by extraordinary things,
Mhm. Yeah,
which is bad. We don't know how to stay amused by extraordinary things.
true. Very true.
Yeah, but so yeah, that kind of sucked. I mean, it makes sense, like I said, on like the human level. Like, yeah, people just like if you if you start, you know, tell you know, lifting cats around me all the time, with your
Mhm.
mind,
Yeah.
as you are wont to do. At some point, I'm going to stop being like, "Wow, Jay, that's super cool."
Yeah. Well, watching Looper a little after watching Mob Psycho, that's
Uh-huh.
all I could think of. Do you remember that in Looper, how, like, they have, like, a whole generation of people who can, like, float quarters?
Oh no, I only saw Looper once,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and that was like when it came out in theaters,
Right,
which
and
was
that was,
like
like, 2000
2016 or something.
maybe even earlier.
Maybe even earlier than that. It was when I was
But
working at the theater, so it must
oh,
have been
okay.
like
2015,
20,
2016.
yeah, 2015, 2016, maybe
Yeah, something like that.
2014. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, either way, they had all these people who could, like, lift quarters, and that was, like, used to be kind of a really impressive things. But
Yeah,
now that it's been like 10 years since they discovered people can do that, everybody's just, like, really over it.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast, man.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know if the show was trying to make a comment on the girl,
Mhm.
or if that was just a general human thing. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
I see.
Or even if it was like a mob's perception thing. Maybe he just like felt like she didn't care.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah. You're right, we don't know.
I'm I'm sure if this anime is as anime as it may be,
Uh-huh.
um, we'll have a flashback to that scene uh, several hundreds of times.
Well,
Like
look,
if
it's
if there is a Deku cries
at the computer.
at computer scene in that show, might be that one.
It's gonna be that one.
That might be Mob Psycho's Deku cries
Yeah,
at
the
computer scene.
computer. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
It might not be with how succinct everything's been, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just calling my shot.
Mhm.
If
No, I
if it
call it. Yeah.
if it were maybe a more anime, because I feel like Mob Psycho is kind of breaking the rules. He's kind of like doing weird stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit atypical in my
Yeah,
opinion, yeah. It's,
which is cool.
yeah, oh yeah, well, that's kinda why I wanted to watch it so bad. It was like, oh, well, first of all, it, like, looks different than most anime,
Hmm.
and then I heard it was, like, a little bit unconventional,
Yeah,
and then its animation is also, like, kinda cutting edge too.
yeah, yeah. The animation is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever effects they're using around these like crazy monsters is like super cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a lot of love and care in this show.
Is there any CG technically?
Um
Because some of it looks almost
Uh,
CG, but
I'd
that
have
could
to
be
look.
the
I would have to look back because
that
I'm
could be
not.
the paint on glass stuff you're talking about, and I wasn't perceiving it
Yeah,
right.
I'll have to take some screenshots next time and show them to you or something, and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this is. Or actually, I could like go take a screenshot right now of what I mean by the paint on glass. Let's see.
sure. I think I understand what you're talking about now, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying when I was watching it, I did not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, let me drop in a couple of a couple of manga caps
Okay,
just so you can know what the manga looks like, and I'll let you peruse that while I take a screenshot of
okay. Yeah, I'm looking up paint on glass
animation right now.
animation, and yeah, that stuff looks cool.
Oh yeah, it's amazing looking.
Looks super sick.
Because like even though his art style is like really rough, it's he's really good at paneling, really good at setting up shots.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's how the manga looks.
Oh, that looks bad. Yeah, that's not good.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
I kind of like how grungy it looks.
sure.
It's a little grunge.
Yeah, so punk rock. Yeah.
It's punk rock, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's cool if like I know he came from like doing a web comic, right?
Well, yeah, because like I mean, this is what I think of when I think of a webcomic. I think of it looking like this, but any webcomic can look great nowadays.
Sure, yeah. For
And
sure.
I would still call him like a competent comic artist. Like he knows how to make comics. It's just his line work isn't the best.
Yeah, well, there's that and then there's just like there's nothing going on in the
Oh,
backgrounds here.
yeah, he doesn't do backgrounds a lot. Like I think later he does a little bit more
Yeah.
background wise. But I
It,
still but when you read a manga, you're not really all that focused on the backgrounds anyways.
right,
Depending.
but it's the kind of thing that when you take it away,
Uh-huh.
you
It's
realize
noticeable.
that it was a important part, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's like it's not that you spend all this time looking at every detail of the background, but the background's there for a purpose.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I did not choose some very impressive panels to show you this time, but mostly because more impressive stuff's later. But yeah, I think the thing about it to me is that it's all very clear, it's all very readable. And
Mhm,
when there is, the small amount of action that you've seen here so far, that's all very
mhm.
followable. Sometimes I'll be reading
Mhm.
manga and I'll be like, "Wow, I can't wait to see this as an anime so I can know what's going on." Yeah,
Right. I guess maybe there's an added layer of it that, I'm seeing this
what
after
the show looks
seeing
like.
the superior
Yeah,
models
yeah.
and superior
Mhm.
atmosphere. This just feels like a very rudimentary um, form of what I
Yeah,
saw.
the manga does feel different than the anime, very much, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But the manga is something I
because the anime feels good and better.
wow. I stand by the manga. One day I'd like to own all the volumes physically. Um,
Mhm.
once Dark Horse is done translating it. Yeah. But
Right, right. Isn't that the DC guys
Dark
doing
Horse
that?
is different, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think
Okay.
they're their own deal.
They just sound DC to me.
I think did they do Hellboy?
Sounds like a thing that a company called Dark Horse would do.
Let's see, darkhorse.com. Yeah, they do Hellboy. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, and they're doing
Yeah, they're
Mob Psycho?
translating Mob Psycho.
Interesting. I thought there was, like, anime
I mean,
companies
there's
that
Viz,
have
Tokyo
manga
Pop.
publishers for that.
I feel like Dark Horse has done a couple of manga now. But yeah, Viz and Tokyo Pop are like the big ones I can think of. I'm sure there's others now. Maybe that's divvied up a bit now that there's more and more manga coming over here. Now that we have more access to
Mhm.
anime, because anime is advertisements for manga. Yeah.
Right, right. Oh, man. Back in the day when we didn't have access to anime. What a terrible time.
Well, now we have more access to anime, I guess. Like even some of the
Yeah.
smaller stuff, but then that doesn't always get dubs. I will never see a dub of Silver Spoon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
No.
probably not,
No.
you know? Just because Silver Spoon's not as popular as, like, Full Metal.
Yeah, everybody went and read that and went, "Huh, where's all the alchemy? I'm putting this down."
Mhm. Yeah, they were
No,
not
they
impressed.
weren't.
Unfortunate.
Yep. But yeah, I think we've reached the end here, in my opinion, maybe. Unless you have
Okay,
more you want to say about the
nice.
episode, or
We didn't have a good joke at the end there.
do you want to take a shot at a joke before I make Craig leave?
No.